32 years old now, moving into the full maturity of his boxing career. Gives up an inch in height tonight against Harmon. They're equal in reach. They both weighed in at or around the light heavyweight limit. They will enter the ring unofficially weighing exactly the same thing tonight. No punch stat numbers, Larry. Why is that?
Because the level of competition that both of these fighters have fought is so different. Derek Harmon's last 2 fights were 8-round semi-windups.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Roy Jones Jr. Derek Harmon fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and you cannot be saved by the bell at any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
And tonight's HBO website challenge is for you to be Roy Jones's manager. So as you watch tonight, log on to the HBO.com/boxing and vote on what you think Roy should do with his future. Stay at light heavyweight, move up to heavyweight, or move down to middleweight or some catchweight in between to fight people like Hopkins and Trinidad. Vote now, with results given at the end of this evening's program. And now here comes Derek Harmon, who has adopted the nickname Royalty for this fight. And there it is. In his last fight, he won an 8-round decision. You don't often see a graphic like that before a world championship prize fight.
His best pedigree may be that his father was briefly a professional fighter, Jim, who sparred in the Chicago area with the great middleweight champion Tony Zale. So he has, you know, some blue boxing blood in his veins.
Recently, Derek Harmon ran into somebody in a Hollywood bar and mentioned to him that he was a fighter. The next thing he knew, he was on a plane to England to appear in a movie with Michael Caine called Shiner. He spent 8 weeks on the set of the movie and earned, for working there, the biggest paycheck he has gotten in boxing before tonight.
He's supposed to get about $300,000 tonight, 30 times more than his previous best purse as a boxer.
And out there in the universe around us, there are 20 light heavyweights who've lost to Derek Harmon, and only one who's beaten him. He's had 10 KOs among his 20 wins. Well-known cut man Cassius Green preparing the face of Derek Harmon for whatever challenges it will face against Roy Jones Jr. Now, before Jones enters, they're going to be showing a commercial on the big monitor over the ring, and we will ignore the commercial, so you won't be seeing it here.
You know, it was in this ring 4.5 years ago, Jim, that Roy Jones moved up to light heavyweight and won the title that he still has.
Title holder at 160, 168, 175.
Beat McCullum, who has been a wonderful fighter in the lower weights, was an old man by that time. Roy is still here.
Seven of his last 8 opponents have been southpaws. And you can see that he has a spotless record against them. Roy sometimes says, you know, I've had a more difficult path than you imagine because I've had to fight all these southpaws. But frankly, in terms of style, he's ideal for fighting southpaws. He's not a jabber. His 2 biggest weapons are his left hook and his straight right hand. And both of those are weapons that he can bring to bear against southpaws.
There's going to be an upcoming rap song that Roy wrote for himself, and in it he gives his side of the story about whether he is taking on enough challenges.
Yes, he chides the media.
In which he says, they say I ain't fight nobody. I make them nobody. There is an element of truth in that.
You know what? I guess.
A small element. Jones is stung by the criticism, stung by being demoted to the top of the pound-for-pound best, and will come out tonight
and sting Derek Harmon
very quickly and very decisively.
in response. That's what I'm expecting. I told you at the beginning, it looks like a first-round knockout ring to me, 17 by 17. And Roy made a statement against Montel Griffin in a revenge fight once that might be repeated tonight. This record you've seen before. Roy Jones lost once on a disqualification for hitting Montel Griffin when he was down, and then almost immediately after avenged that loss with a first-round knockout of Griffin. Overall, 43-1 with 35 KOs. Now let's go up to ring announcer Mark Biro for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Square Ring Incorporated, in association with HBO Sports, presents the main event of the evening, 12 rounds for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Your judges at ringside are, from Morristown, New Jersey, Aníbal Miramontes. From West Palm Beach, Florida, Michael Pernick. And from Dickinson, Texas, Gail Van Oy. Your referee for this event, working his 25th World Championship fight from the Magic City of Orlando, Florida, Frankie Santori. Introducing the principals first, in the blue corner, to my right, wearing the silver sequin trunks with red sequin trim, he weighs 175 pounds. His professional record, 20 victories, 1 defeat, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. He is rated number 10 in the world by the WBC, number 8 in the world by the IBF, and number 4 in the world by the WBA. Here is the challenger, Derek Royalty Harmon. His opponent in the red corner, wearing the gold trunks with the black trim, he weighs 174 pounds. His professional record, 43 victories, 1 defeat, 35 wins coming by way of knockout. He hails from Pensacola, Florida. Here is the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr. 12 rounds for the undisputed Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. All right, guys.
Derek, Roy. All right, guys, we're going to have everything in the dressing room, all right? Derek, your trunk's a little high. A blow here is going to be a fair blow. Understand that, guys. This isn't going to be a low blow, all right? We've gone over all the rules. Just remember them all. Protect yourselves at all times. Questions? Good luck, guys.
Going into this fight, it has all the look of a Sunday driver dueling the late, great Dale Earnhardt. Let's see how long the challenger can stay with the champion.
Roy.
One fighter who trains in the same gym with Harmon in Las Vegas said to us, too slow. Of course, almost all opponents through Jones's career have been too slow. There's no shame in that. Fight begins with Harmon trying to stick his jab.
Harmon has got to get in there, and whatever punch that every round that Roy Jones lands, he's got to land 4 to 1 to make certain that he wins the scorecard.
Harmon going to work on Jones's body. That is what he said would be his plan. He said, I'm going to stick it to his body until he's able to counter me.
With a fighter like Roy Jones, you don't allow him to come to the middle of the ring. You got to keep him, his back against the rope, doing something to him at all times. You're bigger, so use your size.
For his part, Jones said, I like Harmon. He's a great guy. He might make a great champion someday. But in this fight, don't blink.
Roy Jones has just got to forget about the critics and fight for his life. When that bell rings,
Time, stop.
Harmon landed
you got to win. You got to fight for your life.
Good work,
Because
guys. Good sportsmanship.
not only can you lose, you can get hurt in this business worrying about critics.
Harmon landed a jab and a right hook to the body. He's made his presence felt early.
You got to make promises you can keep.
Don't hold him, Derek.
Harmon doesn't look tight. Looks loose enough in there. Performing early. Jones taps him with the left hand. Misses with the straight right.
Harmon has got the bigger shoulder, the longer leg. He's got to use that side. Good right, left to the body.
Jones taps him upstairs with the right. Right hand to the body is partially blocked by Derek Harmon's left arm.
There's no way that Harmon can get into a who's quicker match with Roy Jones. Roy Jones sees something, he hits it at the speed.
But at this stage of round one, at least, it is Harmon who is the stalker and Jones the stalkee. And once again, the body shot by Jones is blocked by Harmon's left arm. Great right hand lands for Jones. A little quick right inside lands for Jones. Uppercut as well. Harmon letting his hands go and firing to the body.
Harmon said that Roy Jones outboxes the boxers, outpunches the punchers. He has to make them fight.
That's a good idea, but you got to cover your head up because he will hurt you.
There's the hand speed. There are the fluid combinations. Harmon smiles as if to say, yeah, I know about that. Not much you can do. All in all, not a bad first round for virtual unknown Derek Harmon.
Whatever water bottle. Got them hands kind of high. Just try to touch his body a little bit more. You're doing good.
That's me setting up all far. So away from the left hand, all right? Just step to the right, all right? Catching on the side. Don't worry about it. Catching on. How you feel? You ready to go now? Yep. All right, first round over. Now we know how it feels. We know what he got. That's all he got.
If Harmon wants to make a fight of it, Roy Jones is perfectly content to counterpunch him like that.
Take it down. Come on, outside.
CompuBox numbers in round one. Favored Jones. 20 out of 51 connects to 11 of 43 for Harmon. but simply by releasing 43 punches, Harmon showed a greater level of presence and relaxed capability than might have been expected by some.
Now, Roy Jones is allowing Harmon to hit him on his elbows and the forearms. You don't want that. An old sneaky trick, and whatever the left hand you had start to disappear.
Well, and when a guy says, I want to fight him, I want to make him fight, one of the things he implies is I'll hit him wherever I can.
And that's what you do. That's a smart thing to do, because if you're able to land some good shots on those forearms, especially of the left hand, you've got a guy already disarmed.
Make him feel the jolt.
That's an old trick. Surprised to see a young fighter do that. But they better keep a lot of grease on Harmon's face, because Roy's throwing hot leather there.
Well, Harmon's got veteran cut man Cassius Green. He knows enough to keep the slick on Derek's face as Roy tries to pot shot him from the outside.
Roy's already put his left hand down to his side a few times. He's already felt it, evidently. He may be in for a fight tonight. An opponent going for his body, even hitting him on his arm.
And Jones waiting and standing and watching from the outside. Maybe looking for one big shot. Almost got it with the uppercut there.
That's why I said earlier, they're going to have to really apply a lot of grease to Harmon's face, because he's going to be grazed by a lot of fast shots. Even when he covers up, Roy Jones throws one.
Jones keeping his eyes on the middle of Harmon's chest. Not looking at Harmon's face, focusing on the middle of his chest as he watches Derek come at it. Harmon sticks the right hand and then covers up as Jones fires back.
Roy Jones has fought so many southpaws, and he is effective at it, but it gives another southpaw a chance to see how he attacks him. And apparently, Derek Harmon may have spotted something and is keeping him from being as effective as we would expect him to be.
You saw the one right hand up the gut that shivered Harmon. Best punch of the fight so far.
And those are the kinds that keep your eyes blinking and you start seeing 2 or 3 fellas in front of you. You just can't follow this guy around and not do anything. You got to hit him. Harmon is doing an excellent job of following him, but he's not hitting. Don't try to land an important shot. Just throw anything.
Jones with a brief flurry, but round 2 was a tactical, waiting and watching kind of round for both fighters.
Letting him get in his rhythm. You gotta start throwing more jabs, all right? You can time the jab, you can time his right hand. He's throwing a hook, right hand. He come right off of it. But you let him get in his rhythm, all right? When you get the guy trapped, it's gonna work, all right? The faster that he gets as fast as he is, you throw more punches. You gotta put the punch count too. All right? How you feel? I mean, everything all right? Huh? All right. 2 down, right? 2 down.
Sir.
Okay.
Trainer Alton Merkerson totally silent in Jones's corner. Nothing to say to the fighter. I wonder if Derek Harmon believes trainer Don House when House says to him, you're just as quick as he is.
Well, Harmon lost the first 2 rounds, but he doesn't seem intimidated by the occasion.
All right, time, box.
Doesn't seem intimidated by the occasion, doesn't seem intimidated by the opponent. I think Derek Harmon can be pretty proud of the presence he's shown in the first 2 rounds, even if Jones is ahead on the scorecards as expected.
You know, for a Sunday driver, he's doing reasonably well.
Of course, Harmon, having grown up in Chicago, is longtime buddies with the fighter who gave Roy Jones as much trouble as anybody else, Montel Griffin. And if Griffin, of course, got the one win over Jones via disqualification, critics would say that Jones was probably headed for a knockout victory. But Montel did have his moments in the fight. His tricky style gave Jones some trouble. Maybe he gave Harmon a pointer or 2.
I don't think Harmon wants any pointers from Griffin. Griffin. No
Because of
way.
the style difference?
Oh, man, no way. Not him. He's a big man. Harmon should be leaning and pushing and punching on Jones for round after round. He's allowing too much distance between the two to exist for too long.
Yeah, so I hear your point. Because he's so different from Griffin in form, as a long, lanky fighter instead of the short, stocky guy that Griffin is, it's two different things.
Well, not only that Griffin made Roy Jones mad enough and upset enough
to knock him out in about a minute.
Knock him out a minute.
Yes.
So you don't want to get him upset. You want to sneak in there and win the title.
Jones starting to loosen up and release his hands a little more. Looked kind of dry in the first 2 rounds. Sometimes Jones's warm-ups suffer because he pays so much attention to Gainer's fights.
These are big guys. Ordinarily, Roy Jones would have gotten a knockout or knocked down with those shots in the 68-pounder. These are heavyweights walking around shrinking down to 75. Harmon probably weighs 185 pounds right now, more.
180, George.
180.
Both of them weighed 180 in the dressing room unofficially.
When you hit those big guys like that, they just don't react in the way that the smaller guys used to.
Incidentally, our unofficial weights, when you see those at the bottom of the punch stat graphic, keep in mind it's a bathroom scale. There's nothing official about those numbers. They're just there for the sake of comparison, but they are both weighed on the same scale. So if it said that the numbers were equal, and they were 180 to 180, you can assume they both weighed the same. We don't know. We just don't know for certain that it would have been 180 on an official scale.
When you hit those big guys, they can just recover so quick.
Great right hand to the body. Combination for Jones. Jones heating up a little bit as round 3 comes to a close. This Monday, check out the premiere of the latest edition of Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Among the stories, Mark Cuban, the NBA's youngest and most controversial owner already. He's in hot water again, this time for running onto the court during a fight last week. Also, some of the Major League Baseball umpires who resigned 2 years ago are still out of work. Hello, Eric Gregg, and hoping for a second chance. That's Monday, February 26th. Real Sports, where nothing is out of bounds.
He's gonna give me one jab, though. He's more than one jab. All right? Set everything up. All right? Roy's giving you the best right now. That's what he got. That's all he got right there. All right? When you get inside, dig. But don't stay in front of him when you get him.
He feints. He's going for him, champ. A lot of feint.
Derek Harmon goes into the 4th round against Roy Jones. Some people, myself included, didn't expect that. Harold Letterman, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Roy Jones Jr. Jim, I gotta say, first of all, boxing gloves can come in any color. Roy Jones has always picked that Grant gloves. He likes them. The gloves of the prerogative of the promoter. Okay, to get back to the fight, Roy Jones Jr. basically thrown 2 punches. Left hook, straight right. But he throws them in combination. Harmon absolutely powerless to stop it.
Harmon bullying in to try to get to the body. Takes an uppercut for his trouble, but keeps on coming.
He admits that he has been a lackluster fighter in the past and knew that he had to step it up in this fight.
It's going to be hard to step up when a guy has to protect himself from you at all times because of your speed. He can do anything he wants, but he's not going to get Harmon with a clean shot. Harmon covers up.
I'm talking about Harmon.
Oh, okay.
George, he said, I'm a lackluster fighter. I'm not going to be lackluster in this.
Whoa! Harmon strafing Jones with a left hand upstairs.
A good left hand. He's going side to side. That's good. Don't stand in front of him.
Well, Harmon promised us, he said, look, I fight up to the level of the opposition. I'll be better against Jones than I've ever been. Certainly he understood the significance of the occasion in his career and seems to have worked accordingly.
Hey, good about Jones. He's been plays basketball with great big guys. He's not afraid of bigger guys. That's one thing about it. Although he doesn't have the power, but he'll try to jump and rebound at basketball. The guy's a tough little guy.
You're saying Jones is a little guy by basketball standards.
Whenever he puts together 2 to 3 punches, he's the by far better fighter, Roy Jones. And when he goes with the 1-2, he seems to leave himself open for a counter.
And now coming down the stretch in round 4, Jones begins to be able to land at will. Harmon goes back to punting to the body.
We still need more movement, all right? You still stand in front of Roy. Don't stand in front of that punk man. You can get rid of his ass, all right? You got to come off the jab more. The jab is too lazy. If you're counting your jab, he's hooking right off the jab. You got to stop popping him. You got to pop him, man. You got to pop the punches. You know what I'm saying? You got to pop him, man. They're coming too slow, brother. Okay. All right? Okay. Don't always stay firm. Pop, pop, step. Oh, come on. You know you got more rhythm than that. Right now,
I know you're taking your time. Just keep working. Just keep working.
All right. Come on.
His eagerness to get at Roy Jones, an inadvertent and not very punishing low blow thrown by Derek Harmon.
In round 4, by CompuBox numbers, Derek Harmon outlanded Roy Jones. 28 landed punches to only 24 for Jones. Harmon landing a lot of body shots in that round. You saw the general or cumulative CompuBox numbers between rounds. Not all that one-sided at this point. Harmon has done more than show up in Tampa. He has fought.
That's the one thing you don't want to get caught up if you're Roy Jones, to get hit below the belt too many times in a fight like this.
Well, I don't think Harmon intends to foul him. Harmon's just trying to go to the body when he can. Like that.
Break. Sit back. Break.
This is exciting.
I think you're being facetious.
How can you tell?
I know you.
That is more exciting.
Roy Jones is now able to put in the combination straight to the face now. And not been able to hit him with 2 or 3 shots earlier.
No, it's beginning to take on that aspect of target practice.
If you're Harmon's corner, you got to tell him to get closer to Jones and push and shove and touch him at all times. You can't stand back and box this guy.
This is what Harmon needs and wants to do.
That's what he's got to do, continuously do.
He's got to treat Jones with total disrespect.
Some of Jones' best moments right here, and maybe Harmon's best moment on the ropes.
Jones is landing good shots to the body with that right hand. Now he counters. All of these things make a fighter stand back and think.
Break. Come on, keep your punches up.
Guy goes to the body once, then he counters you the next time.
Harmon switches conventional momentarily. Let's see what Jones will do against that. Jones goes southpaw. Good point, George.
All right, keep touching them like that. It won't be long now, baby. It won't be long now. Just keep touching. There you go. There you go. You're getting in range now. That's good. On the head. Back of the head. Thank you. All right. All right. Frank jab going. Frank that jab try to land that right hand, pull the hook in behind.
Not a lot of big moments in this fight. This was one of Harmon's better moments, and this was Roy Jones. I don't think that so far Roy Jones has made his case to be moved up to the top of the pound-for-pound list that is so important to him.
Well, it certainly isn't the kind of fight that will make fans forget Trinidad Vargas or Mosley De La Hoya. But that, of course, is part of the problem that Jones has faced throughout his career, because there haven't been any De La Hoyas or Vargases in the light heavyweight division.
And the expectations of him every time are for a sensational performance. And that isn't easy to live up to.
And you don't want to be an African lion challenging a Burmese cat and then have to shrink down to his size to show everybody that you're tough.
You're going to have to interpret that for me.
Well, he's a big, strong guy. Why should he drop down in weight to prove that he can beat someone smaller than Roy Jones?
Well, but he was willing to go to 168 to fight Hopkins. That wasn't where the difference lay. He was perfectly willing to do it.
Yeah, he was the one who said that he wanted to do that.
He says he'd like to go to 168 to fight Trinidad.
So someone should be a good manager for those guys and make them sign what he wants to say.
Low blow by Jones as Harmon stood in the corner. So far, referee Frank Santori has scarcely said a word in this fight. And both guys have landed a low one. Now Harmon goes back to the body again. Jones trying to give Harmon a little taste of his own medicine with the body punching in this round.
All right, break. Don't punch. Step back. Take a step back. Take a step back.
I have a question. If you didn't know who Roy Jones was, if he didn't have the record and he didn't create the memories that he has, what would you be thinking about him right now watching this?
I refuse to answer on the ground that but the guy is good. Guy's a good fighter. And you remember,
nobody questions that, George. Nobody at all.
He was disqualified once, and the only protection he had was a rematch clause. And you get to be a good fighter.
And he came out with passion in the rematch and stopped, Montel Griffin in the first round, and immediately decided that he didn't want to do anything like that again.
Harmon is getting a little aggressive, but he's catching so many shots. Now he's moving backward.
Yeah, Harmon is verging close to becoming Richard Hall here. Richard Hall is the guy that Roy Jones batted around for 11 rounds in Indianapolis last May in a case of target practice. But Harmon's still better than that as he fires back again and lands to the body.
Some good stuff. He can take a pretty good shot. Way to go. Just keep softening him up. When you're on the offense, you pull them hands tight. Still try to ready that right uppercut up the middle. That's okay.
Just look at your cheek here a second.
Try to slide that right uppercut up the middle. Give me a short hook behind it.
All right.
Okay? Doing good. Way to go. Way to build them points up.
Here.
Left foot, catch it. Get on.
Okay.
Too flat.
You're on your left toe in your kitchen.
Too flat. He ain't hitting you with nothing. He ain't hitting you with nothing. Throwing wild looping ass shots. They ain't doing shit. How you feel? Good. 4 rounds.
Seconds up, please. Seconds up. Seconds up. Seconds up.
CompuBox numbers are amazing. Power shots. Derek Harmon has landed 86 of 136 for 63%. By far the highest number ever against Jones, and a reflection of how effective Harmon has been going to the body and landing. You didn't used to see a fighter land 45% of his punches against Roy Jones. That's what Harmon has been given credit for doing by CompuBox numbers. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
You know, Jim, it just goes to show. Roy's got a good fighter in front of him, and he's shutting him out. 6-0, 60-54, Roy Jones Jr. And I want to tell you something. You got to watch this real close. He does stuff that's absolutely amazing. With a minute and a half to go to the 6th round, he shoe-shied him. I mean, he went to the body 5-6 times, and Harmon couldn't hit him. It's amazing. And, you know, 5-6 shots to the body, he just steps to the side. Harmon can't touch him. Derek Harmon's got a great jaw, trying like heck, but Roy Jones is amazing with those combinations.
Ooh, vicious body shot by Jones. And he pot shots him up top. Still got the great hand speed, still got the combinations when he chooses to commit and throw 3 or 4 punches at a time.
And an excellent body puncher. But he only throws 1 at a time. If he can put his combinations up, start at the body and finish up on top, he can get him a quick knockdown. Harmon has got to step it up. Land more shots.
Maybe it's the color of those gloves, beige gloves. You ever seen beige gloves, George?
I don't like it, I know that. There's nothing exciting about beige gloves.
No, they're a good match for the shoot.
Well, Roy being more assertive here.
And dazzling Harmon with his hand speed.
Harmon has got to put together some punches because the referee is watching. Better fight back, Harmon.
And he does. With a terrific
right to the body.
shot to the body and an uppercut that lands, and Derek Harmon's got a good jaw and keeps on coming. And now Harmon begins to show the ill effects of having been tattooed throughout round 7 by Roy Jones.
Harmon just can't figure out what to do next. We get him some kind of strategy.
Can't say enough about Harmon's courage. The talent difference is beginning to rise.
Sit down, please. All thing Roy's doing is out hustling, Derek, all right? All you got to do is go to work. I'm telling you, you can hit this guy all day long. 1 jab is not enough. You're only throwing 1 jab. He's timing that 1 jab. You got to throw 2 and 3 jabs. You got to get on your toes. You can't stand in front of him. You got to step left or step right. All right? You face the guy a couple. Don't be afraid to feint him and jump off the left hand if the hand is full.
Let them hey, walk through him and take. Come on, go for it. Go for it.
This is it, man. This fight of the world, man. You want these motherfuckers tight? Let's go get it. All right?
Here's some of those riffs and jump shots that Roy Jones is famous for. But Derek Harmon is hanging in there.
Gary Sheffield and Deion Sanders. Wonder where Sheffield will play this year. In round 7 by CompuBox numbers, Jones landed 66% of his power shots, 29 out of 44, and a lot of them were hard shots thrown to hurt. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen trainer Don House before, but he gave Harmon good advice between rounds. Step side to side, be left, be right, don't be in front of him, throw your jab, Don't wait for him to hit you. You've got to fight it.
Now he's gone back to following him around and dropping his left hand. Right hand, I'm sorry. And just standing in front of him. Takes 2 steps, stop, drop his right hand.
It only goes to show you that the trainer can say it, but it doesn't mean the fighter's going to do it. Ultimately, it's the fighter himself who has to go into the ring and deal with what's in front of him. And it's getting harder and harder for Derek Harmon to keep up with Roy Jones's hand speed.
Step back, break, come on, clean break, good break, thanks guys.
Harmon blocked those shots with his elbows.
Roy Jones knows that he has a weakened bull in front of him, and he wants to finish him.
All right, break, step back, you're wrestling, come on.
Jones with 2 big right hands to the body there. Harmon is well conditioned. He's hanging in. But Jones is beginning to have entirely his way. Dazzling stuff as the thoroughbred begins to outclass the dray horse.
You gotta fight this motherfucker, man. You gotta travel, catch it. You gotta fight him, man. You're not throwing enough punches. Water, Keith, I'll drop the water.
Got elusiveness going. You don't know where them shots coming from. That's good. Keep trying that. That's good. Give me them foot franks at him. He folding now when you feint at him. Good work. You don't need that much talking to you. Just keep doing what you're doing, baby.
That's the point in the house, baby.
That's right.
All the big
And
points.
steal.
All right. Roy Jones has a hurt bull in front of him, just staying in there on sheer will now, doing some bullfighting cape work with his fists.
And round 8 is a round where CompuBox numbers begin to reflect the vast difference in capability. Jones 32 out of 55, Harmon 8 out of 19. Jones landing 26 of 37 power shots.
Boy, that's when you go back to your corner when they were fight the young Cassius Clay when he was young, and the trainer tell him, get him, and they'd ask, get who? You can't catch him. So Harmon's corner is telling him to get out there, and he just can't see a way where he can get 2 shots. Roy Jones just too fast.
We're in the 9th round of a scheduled 12. Harmon taking a pretty good licking from Roy Jones now, but in the early rounds he had his moments, largely through the body punches that you saw right there. Jones headed toward another potential shutout. At one point in his career, he went 3 years losing only a single round.
Keep him up, Roy, keep him up.
The most amazing thing is how is it that Roy Jones can still maintain that superior condition.
Good break.
And everyone is saying there's no challenges out there. This man is in excellent shape.
Well, he has no bad habits. Conscientious about everything he does, from training his dogs to training his fighting cocks to running his farm. to managing other fighters, to managing his recording business, to running the youth center for children in Pensacola that he operates there. There's nothing that Roy does that he doesn't do well.
He's kind of backhanding that left jab, though. The referee should be a little conscious of that. It's a backhand. It's not.
Some people, Jim, would argue that his matchmaking leaves a little bit to be desired.
That is the gray area, isn't it? Harmon doggedly trying to come back to the body, reestablish himself in the fight.
Take a step back.
He may not win a round, but he's going to win some fans.
I wish he had gone to the body a little earlier like he's doing now. Then he could have had Roy Jones in front of him.
Jones hot-shotting Harmon from the outside.
There's the old feint.
Don't hold him down, Roy. Don't push him down.
And we'll go to the 10th. Coming up immediately following our show, we want you to stay tuned for Oz on the East Coast. What a program. And the premiere of the HBO original movie Boycott, about the Montgomery bus boycott on the West Coast.
Stand in front of him. All right? This time you only give me one jab and you're flat. You're launching with the left hand. You got to stay in boxing form. Hold box. All right? Right now you're getting all out of form, Derek. Come on, man. Shit. You get the man like you are. Don't work. You gotta let the hands go.
You can't do nothing no different. Keep doing it. We winning the rounds. We landing the punches. We know what we talk about. Win is a win. Doggone right.
This is the point in the fight where Roy Jones frequently decides, I've won the fight. Why take any chances? Why go for the knockout? Let's see what he decides tonight.
Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim, I've got it 90 to 81, 9 rounds to nothing, Roy Jones Jr. I got to tell you, Jim, since the 6th round, we've been seeing the entire repertoire. The up jab, the wobbling shoulder, the alley shuffle, the shoe shine, he goes southpaw. I mean, what do you expect him to do? He's done everything but hit the guy with the referee. I don't know.
Punch Roy out.
He just does spectacular stuff, and it's all there is to it. He can do what no other fighter can do.
But George, it was you who pointed out in Radio City Music Hall when he was finishing up a similar performance against David Telesco that great light heavyweights of recent vintage like Bob Foster and Archie Moore were finishers.
They were
went
finishers.
after hurt opponents and put them away.
And that Archie would always say it's best to get it over with than to keep punishing your guy if you can. Now, but that's a lot of weight that Roy Jones is dealing with. This guy's a big man. He just may have to accept that he doesn't have the power.
George,
But
he's been fighting light heavyweight for more than 4 years. He's a very muscular guy. He's a light heavyweight.
But he's getting by on speed, a lot of skill. Hasn't got by on that power yet. He hasn't shown that he has the power to drop these big guys yet and keep them down.
So if he doesn't stand and try, and he's willing, and he's, as he calls himself, a boxer, a technician, and he's willing to stand outside and just beat him with his speed, then you don't get the knockout ordinarily against somebody who's...
That punch was thrown with knockout intentions.
If he just go on and put his combinations together with authority, he can do it.
Harmon coming back like a bull.
Roy, with the power that he has to catch Harmon coming in, trying to throw a shot and beat him to the punch to get the real knockdown. If you reach out for it, it's not there.
And while Jones has had a fair number of decisions in his career, particularly as a light heavyweight, he does hold the distinction of having scored a knockout in every possible round, 1 through 12. How many fighters can say that?
Not many.
Now that's a
But,
good.
Larry, you got to understand, you've been spoiled. You've seen the great ones.
So you're saying that Roy is not one of the great light heavyweights?
Uh-oh, you're trying to get me in trouble.
Well, you're the guy who said it.
Roy Jones is a great fighter, period. But there are some things that he just doesn't have in his repertoire yet.
Well, sometimes when a fighter starts getting older, he can't move as well. He'll stand his ground and start punching harder.
That's right. Give him another year and you'll see him.
Hey, Larry, take a look at some possible opponents in the future for Roy Jones and tell us about what would make him interesting.
Well, Mikuszewski is an unbeaten light heavyweight from Germany. Problems making that fight. Trinidad has said his goal is to win the middleweight tournament and eventually fight Jones. Hopkins wanted to fight Jones. Now he's in the middleweight tournament. Joe Calzaghe is an interesting fighter, 168 pounds. Very good fighter from Great Britain. Zhirov is a cruiserweight, an unbeaten, rugged cruiserweight.
Called the Russian Tiger, a body puncher.
Bird was a 168-pounder as an Olympian, moved up to heavyweight. Not a big puncher. And Holyfield, of course, is an older fighter and originally a light heavyweight. And this fight is over.
Harmon's corner, apparently having seen enough. Jones gets a technical knockout after the 10th round. It had, in fact, become batting practice in the last few rounds, so for the sake of Derek Harmon's future career, and indeed his health, probably the right choice, George.
And he saved us from probably a good knockout.
And Harmon touching his eardrum as if to indicate that he may have an ear problem, and that wouldn't be terribly surprising either.
A lot of these guys fighting Roy Jones will quit when they feel like they're getting ready to be knocked out. That's what's been happening lately.
You almost would prefer, I would think, the mercy killing of a 1-2 shot and onto the seat of your pants rather than just getting batted around from round to round to round, as Richard Hall did, as David Telesco did, and as Harmon did for most of the fight tonight.
Some guys even ask you, get it over with if you can, please.
Really, Jeff? Did you have opponents ask you for that, George?
Get it over with.
Come on, give me some of that old George Foreman gas. Give me one of those big fastballs.
Stop hitting me like that. Just knock me out.
One time. Harmon saying that he cannot hear out of one of his ears, and that was the warning sign to him that it might be time to step aside. But a respectable effort, to say the very least, by a fighter who caught a lot of gaff from the media coming in, myself included, and who went out and fought honorably. And a good guy, Derek Harmon. Final punch stat numbers, and they got lopsided in the last few rounds. But overall, look at that. Harmon landed 47% of his punches against Jones by going to the body, and that may provide a blueprint for better opponents down the road. Jones, 277 out of 538, 51%, and a wide variety of shots in that arsenal. Power punches, Jones throwing 388 of them, doesn't throw that many jabs, and Harmon landing 64% of his power punches. Again, the body is a target you can find. Mark Biro's ready with the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the blue corner retires before the bell beginning round 11. The winner by technical